What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 5 of Zaire Joseph, MyCareer. And this is a special episode where I give an update on what's going on and off the court. We'll be taking a look at what he's been doing in college for Syracuse and discuss how the team's been playing, go over his draft stock and development, and also take a look around the NCAA just to keep you guys in the loop with my son Zaire. I ended up catching some footage of him shooting around while they've been off, and also the first scrimmage they had since their win against Arizona, which should be fun to see. Right before that is one of the more important parts of this update video where I introduce a new feature of the series. But anyway, so far, so good for Zaire, playing decent enough to still be one of the top guards in the draft. Yet he isn't playing up to his standards, and the team sits at 5-2. Really, has been a team effort with Zaire kind of being the glue to it all, facilitating and creating easy opportunities for his teammates to score, while still keeping himself in the mix on both sides of the ball. He's really a point guard playing at the 2, servicing as a combo guard, and will probably end up playing the point guard in the league, standing at 6'3", 204. Anyway, let's get into Zaire's draft profile so far through the first 7 games. The site we look at is NBA.com for our updates as we look at the top 10 projections. At first overall, we have the Brooklyn Nets selecting LaMelo Ball coming from Australia. Then the Detroit Pistons getting Anthony Edwards at 2 out of Georgia. Orlando picking RJ Hampton from 3 at 3 out of New Zealand. Big man James Wiseman from Memphis at 4 to Sacramento. Then the New Orleans Pelicans with picks 5 and 6 picking Sam Merrill from Utah State, and then Zaire from Syracuse. Jaron Cumberland from Cincinnati goes 7th overall to the Wolves. The Thunder at 8 getting Denny Avdija out of Israel. At 9, the Hawks projected to get Cole Anthony from North Carolina. And then rounding out the top 10 is Scotty Lewis from Florida. Then just looking through, I saw Elijah Hughes actually getting some buzz, projected to go 36 overall to Philly in the second round, which is pretty cool. So now looking at the big board for NBA.com, you see Zaire top 10 player in the nation at 7 and 3rd player in the nation at his position behind Anthony Edwards and Jaron Cumberland. Looking at Zaire's scouting report, for his strengths, they say he rarely needs help from a double team. He plays solid defense and just decent man-to-man. Next point of emphasis is that he has a decent handle and can generate good looks against average defenders. Lastly is something I didn't expect to be in his top 3 strengths, but they say one of his best assets is being a good leaper, which helps him crash the boards. Then for Zaire's weaknesses, they put that he's a poor finisher through traffic, partially due to his lack of dunking ability. But anyway, after looking at his projections, let's look at some possible landing spots for Zaire. Looking at the teams at the bottom of the NBA.com power rankings, we see the fallen dynasty of the Warriors are number 30, sitting 2-8. Ahead of them, the Detroit Pistons, who also struggle at 2-8. Then Orlando at 28 spot with 2-7 record. New Orleans at 3-6. Then Cleveland, whose pick belongs to New Orleans, but I think it's a protected pick. Nonetheless, sitting at 2-6. The Cavs in 6th place. The Hawks at 3-5. The Kings at 2-7. Chicago at 4-6. Denver at 3-5. The Knicks 21st at 4-5. And lastly, Milwaukee, surprisingly, with the 4-5 record to start out. First up, as a realistic draft spot, will be the New Orleans Pelicans, a very strong young team with all new players looking to figure it out. I am projected to go here with Sam Merrill, who also plays guard. It's an upcoming team that's going to develop later, and Zaire could be playing with Zion B. Ingram, which could be exciting, being a young, fast-paced, running-gun, transitional basketball team. Next up, as a landing spot, Sacramento, another young development team with Bags, Buddy, and Swiper leading the way so far. Bogdan could use some help in their backcourt. And lastly, with the 7th overall projection, is Minnesota, who I'm likely to get who are an underachieving middle of the pack team led by Cat and Andrew Wiggins. I kind of like what pieces Zaire could work with there and could fit in nicely on the perimeter with the last year's pick, Jared Culver. But now let's get to the part of the series where I introduce a new upgrade system to make the series more of like a MyCareer mode. So I'll quickly explain it right now as I show the list of rules. How it'll basically work is I'll earn 50 attribute points from games and accomplishments that add up to one attribute upgrade. The upgrade system sort of works like Madden career mode. Taking a look at the spreadsheet for it, let's explain as I go. To make it more realistic, he gets upgraded based on his performance game by game in a simplified version of MyCareer. I did put that Zaire will cap at a 78, and the way the upgrades will work is like how you upgrade in Madden. You will earn a certain number of points to obtain the upgrade, in which there will be 7 different categories of playstyle, and then from there, each playstyle has skills and attributes specific to the category. For example, one is playmaker, so the skills will be like ball handling, pass vision, IQ, things of that nature. Well, I'll explain the details a little later. Everything is done through randomization on an app on my phone, which will determine which skills and how many skills get affected and how many attributes to upgrade by, which I won't lie about, it's chosen for me. I just choose the archetype I want to upgrade, and it's really a roll of the dice of what gets upgraded. But next, let's talk about the ways to earn attribute points. Simply by performance and accolades. I'll probably add more ways later on, but for now these are strictly what I'm going with. And for now, it's been a challenge. I only ended up with 2 upgrades through the first 9 games so far, which is about an upgrade every 5 games. I will play every game, but I won't show everyone. I will let you guys know whenever he gets an upgrade and how many points he saved and everything like that. So looking at the first game against the Gamecocks, Zaire totaled 9 attribute points, and then in the game against Nevada, he totaled 25 attribute points. He added 15 more points against Harvard and 13 against Cincinnati, 10 points against Iowa, another 9 from the Arizona game, and lastly 24 points in the win Ohio State. In the 7 games so far, Zaire earned a total of 113 points, which ends up being 2 upgrades for Zaire. So with the 2 upgrades, I ended up going with the offensive category first, and then the athletic category with my second upgrade. And they gave me 9 total upgrades, which were +3 driving layup, +1 move post fade, +1 3-point shot, +3 free throw. Then I ended up getting +1 on my offensive rebound, and +3 to my speed, +1 hustle, +1 strength, and lastly +1 offensive consistency. So they gave me some pretty good upgrades. Playing how it works. I picked my category on this app that randomly shows how many skills I get from each category, 1 to 5, and then once I get my number, they give me the number of skills, but never the same skills. So for example, if I get 1 skill for playmaker, they randomly give me 1 skill within the category such as passing vision, and then they randomly give me a number, how many points I can add to the attribute. Example +1 through +3 passing vision. And that's it. I just choose the play style I'm going for, and as far as what gets upgraded by what amount, I have no control over, which is pretty cool addition to the draft buildup. With those 2 upgrades, Zaire jumps up to a 74 overall, still second to Elijah Hughes as we move on and gear up for a scrimmage. Right after we look at the game plan moving forward, we're still keeping the same starting lineup. Jalen Carey and Zaire in the backcourt, Elijah Hughes and Dolezaj at the forwards, then JBA at center. Guerrier, our 6th man, followed by Buddy Boheme, Bryson Goodine, Jesse Edwards, and Braswell to end out our 10-man rotation. As you see, a couple of us on a hot streak, really playing together and coming out with wins the last couple games. Our bench playing a big role in those wins. We split the teams for a scrimmage. On the orange team, we have Zaire, Elijah, JBA, Dolezaj, and Edwards. For the blue team, we have Carey, Boheme, Braswell, Guerrier, and Sidibe. And I'll catch you guys right on the floor. ball. Boheem gets a screen, goes to the lane, puts it right in over Jesse Edwards. And then we pick up Zaire's dribbling at the top of the key. Going to his left, he gets it to Dolazash, who gets a screen. He pulls up. He can knock down jumpers, but he would miss this one. Sidibe with the rebound. Gets it to Jalen Carey. Zaire picks his pocket, gets the steal, goes to the rack with the easy layup. It is now 4-2. This game will go to the first 50 points, and then it'll be over. We got Elijah Hughes getting a turnover. Quincy Guerrier with the steal. Braswell goes in for the layup. Dolazash with contest, but the blue team will actually start out 6-2. Boheem will go, give it a pass to Gary. He would knock it down. In the
Could
lane,
argue there's a
foul
layup.
there. We're not playing free throws.
And then
Quincy Guerrier
pulls up,
gets it over to the corner to Boheem, who gets a screen. He pulls up in the corner.
10-4.
He would knock it down.
Zaire
Now
now
12-6.
crossing over, working on Jalen
Zaire
Carey,
Joseph
pulling up
dribbling.
mid-range.
Gets poked away. He gets it to Dolazash, who gets the easy layup. It's now 14-8 as the orange team looking to come back, as Elijah Hughes will knock down a nice jumper wide open off the screen. And now Dolazash getting it to Jesse Edwards, who will spin, go up, put it in over Sidibe. And now the blue team's possession. Buddy Boheem bringing it down, working against Elijah Hughes. As they get it to Sidibe. He gets it to Jalen Carey coming around. He will go to the rim. He gets blocked by Jesse Edwards. And then the orange team is now running in transition. Dolazash going all the way to the rim off the rebound. And it's now 16-14. Orange team making a nice comeback. As the blue team looking a little overpowered, as they would get a layup from Sidibe right there, who's leading the way so far. Quiet game from Guerrier so far. And now here's Jalen Carey working, getting the switch. He would dribble, a lot of dribbling in the lane, get it out to Boheem, who would knock down a three. And it's now 21-14. It's the orange team now with possession of the ball. Zaire working against Jalen Carey, who pokes it away from Dolazash. He gets it back and gets a nice easy layup. It's now 21-18. Zaire working off the pick and roll, getting it to JBA. Gets his first basket of the game. It's now 21-20. About halfway over as Elijah Hughes drives to the rim, gets a layup. It's 21-22. Orange team taking the lead for the first time so far. Here's Boheem pulling up. He will knock that down, and the lead goes back to the blue team. And now we're working. It's now JBA gets to Dolazash, to Elijah Hughes, who will miss in the corner. JBA with the rebound, kicking up to Zaire, hitting a nice open three from deep outside the lines, probably NBA range right there, showing his range. And then getting a steal, nice defense, getting it up to Elijah Hughes, who would dump it off to JBA trailing. He would make the layup. Now 27-31. Orange team up by 4 points. They get it to Dolazash, to JBA, who passes to Edwards, who gets it blocked. But the orange team would keep possession. Zaire dumping it off with a nice pass through the middle of the lane, and they would get a layup. And the score is now 35-27. Blue team hasn't scored in a while. Sidibe would knock down a jumper just as I say that. It's 29-37 now. Jesse Edwards with the ball to JBA, and they would clear it out, get it to Zaire, who got Sidibe jumping in the air. He would miss the mid-range jumper, but JBA would clean it up. And now the orange team up by 10. Jalen Carey working on Zaire with a nice move, caught him reaching, goes to the lane, knocks down a layup. And now the blue team with a steal. Buddy Boheem going to the lane. He would get it blocked by Dolazash, and then Zaire going to finish it off on the break, on the wide open layup off the block. It's now 41-31 as Jalen Carey gets to Sidibe for a nice dunk. Sidibe really playing good in this game. We should look to get him more minutes, as the blue team will get another putback. So that's Quincy Guerrier getting like his first or second bucket of the game. It's now 41-37. Zaire getting it to
Elijah Hughes, he will knock down a corner tray. Really like how they're playing together in this scrimmage. As Jalen Carey gets another layup off the screen and roll, keeping it. And then the blue team working again. Jalen Carey working against another screen and roll. He would get the switch with Jesse Edwards. And then Zaire Joseph pokes it away, playing some good defense. Sidibe will go up, get it blocked. Zaire running in transition. He would throw the alley-oop to JBA. He will finish it. It's now 48-39. One bucket here will end this game. Jalen Carey to Boheim will get the block from Elijah Hughes. And now JBA running the break. Gets it to Elijah, who passes it back. Gets it back to Elijah for the game-winning three. And that would just about do it. And Elijah Hughes will end it. Final score, Orange 51, Blue 39. And ended as Elijah Hughes leads the way scoring with 13 points, 2 blocks, shooting 6 for 12 from the floor. Zaire with 11 points, 8 assists, and 6 steals. JBA with 10 points and 5 rebounds off 5 for 7 shooting. Marik Dolazash, 8 points and 2 blocks. Jesse Edwards with 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. As we look at the blue team, leading things with 12 points, 7 rebounds, shooting 6 for 7, Sidibe. And then Buddy Boheim with 11 points, 2 assists. Jalen Carey with 8 points, 4 assists, and 7 turnovers. Braswell with 4 points, 2 steals. And lastly, disappointing in this game was Quincy Guerrier, as he contributed in other ways. Though he had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and just 4 points. Moving right along, we look at the top 25. We got Kentucky at 1, Seton Hall at 2. Then Michigan State, Cincinnati, and Texas Tech all at 4 and 1 at 3, 4, and 5. South Carolina at 6, Villanova at 7, Washington at 8. Anthony Edwards and the Bulldogs at 9. Marquette rounding off the top 10. Then Duke at 11. UNC at 12. Louisville 13. And the Trojans of California at 14. The Buckeyes, who we just beat, at 15. Then our next matchup is 16th, who is Baylor. 17th is Gonzaga. Harvard at 18. Arizona 19th. Finally, you see us. Syracuse cracks the top 20 with the 20th spot. And then Colorado at 21. The Nevada Wolfpack 22. James Wiseman, the Memphis Tigers at 23. Iowa State 24th. Xavier rounding off the top 25. You got then is Jordan Nora from Louisville with 25 points a game. Let's look through the rest of the unranked teams we have in this dynasty. And their record, we see the Orange with a decent record and actually beating some pretty good schools. Anyway, let's move on to the stat leaders in the NCAA. The top scorers, Marcus Powell from Seton Hall first with 25 points a game. Washington's Isaiah Stewart and Marcus Howard from Marquette both tie at 23.7 points a game. Christian Clark from Baylor rounding out the top 5 with 23 points a game. And we'll see if we can slow him down when we match up against him next episode. As you see, Zaire 39th in the nation, averaging 16 points a game so far. Now we move to the top 5 rebounders. First, we see USC's Nick Rakocevic with just over 13 rebounds a game. Second, Neemias Queta from Utah State with just under 13 rebounds a game. Then Isaiah Stewart, who's also in the top 3 scoring in the nation, is third in the nation rebounding with 12.3, averaging 23 and 12 so far. Really scary numbers from the big man. But anyways, we have Nate Sestina averaging 11.2 rebounds per game for Kentucky. And lastly, Jordan Norwood, who again is also second in the nation scoring, is 5th and rebounded, averaging 11 rebounds per game. Then for assists, you see Zaire is leading the nation with 8.9 assists per game. Xavier's Quentin Gooden at 8.7 puts him at a close second. Michigan State's Cassius Winston with 8.2. Fourth place, Florida's Andrew Nembhard with 7. And then Nico Mannion from Arizona at 5 with 6.5 assists per game. Next stat is steals, where Zaire again is leading the nation with 2.3. Then Paul Scruggs from Xavier with 2.2 a game. Quade Green from Washington with 2.1. And then Tevin Mack from Clemson with 2.1. Also, then Nimbard with two steals per game for Florida to go with his 7 assists. Last category we'll look at is going to be blocks. Charles Marial from Maryland leads the nation with 2.8 blocks a game. Second is Neemias Queta from Utah State with 2.4 blocks to go with his 13 rebounds a game. He's also hurt, but with a strained quadricep. Then we have Syracuse's own John Ballajek, third in the nation in blocks per game with 2.2. Keon Brooks from Kentucky in fourth with his 2. And then Michigan State's Marcus Bingham Jr. to end the top 5 with also 2 blocks per game. Taking a look at Syracuse's player stats so far in the season, Elijah Hughes leading the way with 18 points per game, 5 rebounds per game off 38% shooting from the floor, having a decent season. Then we have Zaire right behind him leading the way. Right behind him with 16.7 points a game, almost 9 assists and 2.3 steals. The other two most important players on the team, which are John Ballajek with 15 points per game, 6 rebounds and 2.2 blocks, and Quincy Guerrier with 12 points per game and 6.7 rebounds per game off the bench. Another under the radar player is Dolezaj with 10 points per game, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double. As the team is starting to really round themselves into a competitive looking squad, let's look at our next 3 matchups where we play Tristan Clark and the 3-1 Baylor Bears. They are the favorites in this matchup, being 16th in the nation behind Tristan Clark and Mark Vital. This should be a very good test to see just how good our team is with some of the more talented teams, and really a warm-up for the next game of the 2-game road trip where we go up against Cole Anthony and his North Carolina Tar Heels, the 12th ranked team in the nation with a 4-2 record behind a great coach in Roy Williams, where we are definitely the underdogs in this game. Their only 2 losses coming to Clemson and Cincinnati. Besides that, they are a really tough team with Anthony not even being the leading scorer, but Justin Pierce, guy we gotta watch out for, as he's leading the team in scoring and just put up 41 on Xavier. Then after a tough road trip, we come back home and play number 17th ranked Zaga Bulldogs in a nationally televised game. Another good team in a tougher part of the schedule, as they are picked to win this game and sit at a 5-3 record, and just before losing their last game against the Iowa Hawkeyes, they were on a 5-game win streak. Zaga is a very good team led by Admin Gilder, Corey Kispert, Killian Tilly, Philip Petrusev, and Anton Watson. A very well balanced team with multiple weapons. Nonetheless, it's about time to wrap up this episode. Right before I do, I'll show Zaire's 2019-20 season stats in full. Shooting terrible from the floor, great at the line. Right now he sits at 117 points, 52 assists, 16 steals, 2 double-doubles in just 7 games. Not too bad for the freshman. But thanks for watching, guys. Catch you episode 5. OG out. Peace.